Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 61.
I'm Ben Sargent.
And I'm Jackson Bull. Today we've got some NDA basketball final highlights to start and an interview with Scholar head coach Dave Wiegers and star center Peyton Siebert.
The volleyball finals also happened as it was Chippewa taking on Algonquin at the Algonquin Gym, with Chippewa taking things down. We've got highlights, including a couple of interviews as well with some coach and players.
And moving to NDA Hockey, we have results from Wednesday night's affair between Scholar and Algonquin and a little look into the upcoming game on Saturday between Algonquin and Chippewa.
All of that and more on the way, including some Nipissing and Canadore updates. But first, a word from today's title sponsor, Source for Sports. It's almost that time of year. Early mornings at the rink, fresh notebooks and backpacks, and a community gearing up for another great season of varsity sports. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of it all. Whether it's finding your kid's first pair of skates, gearing up for tryouts, or outfitting your team for the season ahead, we've got you covered. Because here, we're not just a sports store, we're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to cheer you on every shift, step, and stride of the way. Visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street and let us help you along your way.
On the senior basketball court, the Scholar Hall Bears took on the Chippewa Ravens in the final. On Thursday night's game one, the Bears had a handle lead the whole time. They won by about 20, and then game two for all the marbles on Monday was at Chippewa's home gym, and the Bears showed up. The Bears came to play. They won by 26 or something like that. Both teams qualify for NASA that's happening this weekend in Sudbury. It'll be a tough affair for both teams, but especially Chippewa.
Yeah, good start for Scholar, obviously on their road to OFSA. As what a final, right? So you look at this, and I think for Scholar, and we'll talk about this when we get into the interviews and stuff that we had, but I think when you look at Scholar, they kind of commanded the paint a lot, and you could see that Chippewa kept trying to get into the basket. They tried to do some layups, a lot of them missed, but they were just kind of outbodied, I think, down low.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the story in the first half. Emma Cullen for the Scholar Hall Bears had a number of rebounds and putback points that you just can't compete. Once she gets to 5 of those, all of a sudden that's 10 points, and you can't do it. And if you can't hit your 3-pointers, the zone defense gets tough, and that's that.
Yeah, and I got there at the end of, because you were there for the whole game. I think I got there at the end of the first quarter, and you texted me and you're like, it's already 22-6 or something at that point. And it was just kind of over at the end of the first quarter, which I think it's hard when they go off for halftime, and you can tell there's a bit of a deflated feeling around the team, and then Scholar never really let off the gas. So great for them. Like, you knew that they came in. I think it's impressive for them to come in as the favorites and to win. It's not easy to do, especially when Chippewa and Algonquin were both having good seasons. And so for Chippewa to come in and do what they could do was good, but at the end of the day, Scholar Hall is your 2025 senior girls basketball winners.
2 straight.
I had a great chat after the game with head coach Dave Wiegers and with star center Peyton Siebert. So I'm here with Scholar Hall head coach Dave Wiegers after you guys just won the senior girls basketball in 2 games. First of all, Dave, congratulations. What a big victory for you guys. What does this mean for the program here after a tough loss last year against Algonquin?
Well, it's huge actually for us, especially for the 4 grade 12s we had on the team. They remember, losing 2 straight to Algonquin last year. Second game was in overtime, and that kind of stung with them. And they came to me early in September and said, we're setting a goal. We want to win NDA this year. And I said, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, then we've got some work to do, obviously, because every time we step onto the floor, you never know what's going to happen. So they put the work in. They led this team. The 4 of them were true leaders on and off the court. And the grade 11s, the girls that came up last year, they won NDA as juniors last year. So they've got that, championship pedigree going on. So they came in knowing what it took to win. So just that seemed like a perfect storm of, we were able to build stuff as the season went on. And we kept improving game after game. And that was our goal. And, first milestone is set. We're taking home the NDA banner.
It seemed like in this game you definitely had the physical advantage over Chippewa. Really commanded the paint a lot of times. Didn't really allow Chippewa to get a lot of baskets in there. What was the key for you coming into this series, and especially coming into Game 2?
Well, for us, it was just defense. We've built every game starts from our basket out, and we try and play a stifling type of defense, knowing full well that, as games go on, there's going to be peaks and valleys, and basketball is a game of runs, and you want to minimize their runs and maximize your runs. So we just try and play that, stifling style of defense. We knew after game 1 last Thursday, they were going to be coming out hungry tonight. It's hard to beat a team 2 games in a row. So we told them, before the game, we don't do anything different. It started, semifinals against Franco. We set the tone. We want to take control of the game from the opening jump and don't let them into it, because we know a team, especially a team like Chippewa, they're going to run at you. So we had to try and get them out of the game as quick as possible. And I think the girls did a great job of doing that tonight. Had a great first quarter, great second quarter, held them to 10 points in the first half. That's, no coach is going to complain about only giving up 10 points and a half, that's for sure.
So up next is NASA, right? So first of all, what do you hope to do when you go there? Do you want to kind of play the same basketball? Do you think you're going to have to make some changes? How do you think NASA is going to go for you guys today?
Well, I think we've seen a couple of the teams that we're going to be facing at NASA in tournaments, and I like our chances. I think if we can play the style of basketball that we played in the playoffs and at the end of the regular season, that up-tempo, tough defense type of basketball, I think it's going to work well at NASA. I see us being very competitive at NASA. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, obviously, because you got to take one game at a time, but I think we'll be very competitive, and I think the girls are ready for it and they're excited for it. So,
all right, and before I let you go, what does next year look like? I know we're already looking at it. Do you think you're going to have a competitive team next year as well, a lot of returning players, or do you think there might be a little bit of an uphill battle?
No, I think we'll be very, very competitive. Of the 12 girls we took this year, only 4 were grade 12. So, it was a young team, but again, we had a lot of juniors come up that won NDA last year. So, that was able to translate nicely into the senior game. So next year we're hoping to be competitive again. But we'll see who comes out in September.
Well, congratulations and good luck at NASA.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
So I'm here with Scholar Hall player Peyton, who you guys just won NDA. How does this feel? Of course, this would be your first one since you guys lost last year at Algonquin. How does this feel for you?
Really great, actually. We've been looking forward to this moment for a while now. We were pretty close in grade 10 and pretty close last year too, so it just feels nice to actually close the deal.
So this game, you guys commanded a lot of the paint. You really shut things down close to the basket. Is that the thing that you think was key to this, or what did you think was the thing that got you to victory?
Definitely our posts. We've got Hayden and Emma, and they're pretty solid in the paint almost every play. So when our shooting is off, they're always there, which is really great. I'd say middle of the game, we kind of got shut down a little bit outside, so it was nice to have that, and that definitely helped us in there.
So obviously this is a team sport. Lots of people here. Who are some of the players that you want to shout out, some of the players who you think played really well today and that you're proud to play beside?
Definitely Ava. I think she's been a solid player from the start. We've got Cadence, and then Hayden and Emma, as well as Jill. She got those starting threes, which really took the game where we wanted to go. We got the game started pretty well with her, so that was nice.
So looking ahead to NASA, that's a big thing. Obviously, that's coming up. What's your expectations going to that? Are you winning it all? Are you trying to get to OFSA? Do you think you can? And what's your expectation?
I think we got a pretty good chance. I'm really hoping that we can make it that far. We've played a couple of teams, and we were pretty close last year, actually. And so I think we've got a decent chance. We played Horizon in a bunch of the tournaments, and they were the leading team in Sudbury, I believe, right now. Or they beat St. Mary's, who is also from the Sioux, and that's going to be our competition. So we were pretty close with Horizon, so hopefully we can bring it to that game too.
One of the things we love to ask all our students are, what does the future hold? What's the major you want to go into? What's your thoughts about the dreaded future and the excitement that comes with that?
It's a big question for me right now. I'm not really sure where I want to go. I think I'm going to go into environmental sciences and see if I can play basketball in university, but we'll see.
Well, you're young. You have a lot of time to figure it out. First of all, congratulations and good luck in NASA.
Thank you so much.
And on the junior circuit, of course, it was a big win for Algonquin, who ended up, I would say, upsetting the West Ferris Trojans en route to a title for them.
I would say upsetting for sure. Algonquin had beat them, I think, once in a tournament, the tournament that West Ferris hosted, I believe. But other than that, Ferris seemed like they were beating everybody and had this unstoppable team. But Algonquin took it in 2, and that's what I found surprising. I thought for sure Ferris had taken game 1 at home, and then no, the Algonquin girls won it in their home gym.
Yeah. So congratulations to Algonquin. Of course, unfortunately for Ferris, if you think of like the big, I'll use this quotations, big 4 schools of Algonquin, Scholar, Chippewa, and Ferris that are in North Bay that are very active in NDA sports, Ferris the only one without a championship in either junior or senior this year. Algonquin now football.
Yep.
They got both. Junior girls basketball. Scholars got senior girl basketball. And unfortunately for Ferris, they are that was the one I think they were going for, and they just couldn't put it across. But when you get to men's basketball, I'm sure Ferris will probably be back on top again, but we'll have to see.
I believe that would be the favorite as well, unless somebody comes out of nowhere. Algonquin's going to have a good team, solid team, but we'll see. And
talking about Algonquin, there is something that we have to bring up a little bit that Ryan Debian, who I did see, we'll talk about the hockey game in a bit. I did see him at the hockey game, though. He was, I saw him walking by. I don't know. I guess his son might probably plays, I would imagine.
I don't know. I think they focus a lot on football, but I know he's involved in the hockey program. I've seen him on the bench occasionally in the last few years, but...
Anyway, he came in, the game was already started, but he did message us on, I want to say it was Saturday, on the weekend, to let us know about we talked about football, we talked about the juniors and how the clock went on forever. And so this is the reason why. So the official reason why, if you're up by 35 points or more, the clock continues regardless. In this case, apparently Scholar, because of injuries, asked for the clock to just go continuously. So if you wanted to know why the clock was going a couple of weeks ago at the junior final and why there was no stoppage in time, it was a request from Scholars. So that's the official kind of addendum and asterisk that was put onto that game. So you learn something new every day.
Yeah, you do. I always hate when that happens and you get to the end of the game and it's a whistle in hockey and the time just runs out.
Well, on the volleyball courts, this is your wheelhouse here. Volleyball courts, it was Chippewa, Algonquin, Chippewa straight sets in game 1, coming into Algonquin's gym, game 2, and who would have thunk it? It was Chippewa taking it down in straight sets. Pretty commanding. I got there in the second set. And again, it seemed like Chippewa had it all the way through. Now, Algonquin missing Jacob Fry, who we'll talk about offset tennis in a little bit here, but he was at offset tennis on the Monday, Tuesday, so they did miss a big name there. But overall, Chippewa it was a formality at that point. They got the NDA. Now it's another formality in NASA because they are going all the way to off. So that's their pedestal. And how about that? 6 years in a row that Chippewa are senior boy NDA volleyball winners.
Yeah, what a program. I mean, I still remember the final all the way in 2019 and 2020. I think they played against Franco Cité and then Whitfield, and they won OFSA Gold in 2021. Boys AA OFSA. We hosted it. And just an incredible program that they've built. And then game specific, tough for Algonquin to not have Jacob Fry. They started a 10th grader. His last name's DeHaas. I'm blanking on his first name.
That's a great last name.
Yeah. He played great. He was really in it. He did not give up, but it's tough when you go up against those grade 12 boys. Like you're looking through the net at a bunch of men.
Yeah, like really.
Yeah. But it's funny that you say that they were missing Jacob Fry. So Chippewa, one of Chippewa's liberos, Cohen Lefebvre, also was at offset tennis.
Oh, so it offsets a little bit.
He came home, played the final, and then went back the next day.
That's dedication.
Absolutely.
And I think that shows a little bit, and not putting anything on like Algonquin, like you don't expect somebody to do that, but I think that talks to the dedication that program has. Like, did they need him to come back? Probably not. They have a really strong and deep bench. They didn't, but that also shows probably the keenness from him to be like, hey, and they did decently at offs as well. And yeah, that's I didn't know that.
Well, I get home and I was talking to my dad. His Cohen's mom's a teacher at Chippewa.
Yeah.
And so I said that I saw his dad at the game, and he was like, "Oh, but Cohen's at tennis." And I said, "No, Cohen was there playing." And then I saw on socials that he was also at tennis that day. So just
good for
dedication,
him.
Yeah.
And we saw something you don't see very often, which was a yellow card. I wasn't expecting to see those in volleyball. And I remember going up to you after the game being like, was that a yellow card? I didn't know those were a thing in volleyball.
Yeah, there's a yellow, a red, and a purple card. The yellow is same as soccer, like a warning, and then if you get 2, you're out. A red card is the same; it's an ejection. But the purple card is for a fan or a spectator.
Oh, they get special treatment.
Yeah, give them the lavender. Give them the lav.
Yeah, because in soccer they just give you they just eject you.
Yeah, but there was some discrepancy over noise while teams were serving, and there was a official warning, and then one player decided to keep it going by accident, he claims, but that's all right.
It is what it is. The funny thing was I was shooting, so when I got there, because we've talked about Algonquin's gym, it's small. We know that. It's your favorite gym. And when you come in after school, you have to go in the side entrance, and you come out on the one side of the gym, which is, I guess, the back side of the gym. And so there wasn't really anywhere to shoot. I guess I could have went all the way into like the middle, and that would have been fine. But I was shooting kind of from the door. And then the thing is, when Chippewa does this thing where they don't sit on the bench, they like circle around, which I think they do that because they hate me. That's the only thing I can think of. And so what happened was and you have the guy who's doing the flag also there. So I have a very limited view of where I can get a shot of. And the bench in that third set kept creeping closer and closer into my shot. And I was just sitting there like, I have enough footage, but I'm like, come on, guys. And it was just kind of funny because I'm like, I'm not going to say anything, but it was just funny how it kept shrinking, as the game went on.
Yeah, they slowly got closer and closer, and guys sub in and out, and then you have less and less.
Yeah, which was kind of funny. I do have one quick question before we get to the interviews for volleyball, which was, we talked about the libero, but because people cycle in and out, you don't always have one on the court.
No, so when your middle has to go and serve, your middle serves, and then he plays that point out, and then you switch.
That's
the
weird.
libero doesn't serve. So there's I guess 2 times when you have no libero and 2 middles on the court.
Yeah. Do you have to cycle out, or is that just something they do to keep it fair?
Do you have to run a libero or not?
No. Do you have to take players off and on the court?
No. There have been teams who their middle is their best player. He just happens to be the tallest, and he plays the backcourt rotation as well.
Okay. So you don't have to have so what I mean by this is after people serve, they tend to go out usually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to though? Could you could just stay on the court as long as you want? There's no rules that say you have to rotate in and out?
Yes, you could stay.
Okay.
If you're, yeah.
That's probably just keep it fair. Though I imagine when they go to off, so they probably don't do that.
No, they probably want to get the libero in there for the advanced passing. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Advanced passing, that's a good one. But this was a great thing, though, because after volleyball, after the game, you got a very special privilege.
Yeah, I got to interview head coach Craig Nodwell, who was I was at Chippewa for a long time. We got there the same year. He used to be an Almaguin teacher.
It's a little bit older, though.
Yeah,
you weren't students at the same time.
That's true. But him and I have a great relationship, and we said during the interview that it was a win away at an away game, and he is no stranger to winning away games. I've seen him win more championships in Scollard's gym than he has his own. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Which
we were talking about that after the game as well a little bit because. It's because they have home court advantage, they never win. Because if you win in 2, you're always winning on the road.
Exactly.
Technically.
Yeah.
But so you got a chance to talk to Craig and then also a player as well, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, talked to Drayden Fernandez, who's a multi-sport athlete at Chippewa, friendly face and a dominant volleyball player. So it's a great interview with him.
Cool. So let's throw it over to Craig and Drayden now.
I am here with Chippewa Senior Boys volleyball coach Craig Nodwell after the NDA Final 2025. Big win for you, Coach. What does that mean for you, and what does that mean for the program and for the kids?
It means a lot, first of all. When you put in 2.5 months of work with a bunch of guys, to see it come to a culmination like this where, not only do you win, but you get that decisive victory that you want in a very hostile gym, which we love to play in, packed house, and feels really good. I'm proud of these guys, but we have some bigger dreams and aspirations, and we're looking forward to that this Thursday.
Awesome. And Coach, what does it mean, like personnel-wise? How do you have the personnel? Who are the key players? What do they mean? What do they do?
Yeah, this program starts in grade 7, so a lot of these guys have been wearing the Chippewa jersey since grade 7. So that's 6 years of representing our school in the best way possible. And they receive great training and coaching along the way. I end up with a really talented group every year in senior. And it, lately for the Chippewa program has ended in a lot of success and wins.
Talk to me about the mesh and the connectivity of these fellas individually.
We have 4 core pillars, and one of them is family. And I talk a lot about being a brotherhood, about being a bunch of brothers. And sometimes they fight, but most of the time they get along. And when they work together on the court and they've got each other's back, especially in a packed house like tonight, where you're in a visiting gym, that brotherhood, that family really comes and makes an impact here. So that's what we had going on tonight, and it worked out really well.
Coach, you're no stranger to winning an NDA title in a visiting gym. Thank you so much. 6 in a row for the program, and obviously bigger aspirations. This was just business as usual. Excited to see where you guys go this year.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you for covering us.
Here with star middle for Chippewa Senior Boys Volleyball, Drayden Fernandez. Drayden, how many NDA championships have you won wearing the Big Red C?
This is 4 years in a row now.
And what does it mean to you to win this 4 years in a row, especially this year?
I think it means a lot to us. The program's been running for a while now, and I think we take lead in a lot of the veterans like Vaughn Thompson, Andon Ringette, and a lot of the bigger guys like that.
Talk to me a little bit about the brotherhood that Nodwell mentioned on the team and the individual guys on your team.
A lot of the brotherhood builds from like us captains, Aiden, Logan, and I. And I think a lot of us spend time together outside of volleyball, so I think it really builds brotherhood there.
Awesome. And then what does it mean for you on Thursday? How do you look at Thursday? How do you prepare for Thursday? Talk to me about the next step.
I think these next 2 practices in these next couple of days will be key for us. Work on our system and putting the ball away for sure. Serve pressure, that's another big one. As long as we get our serves in the court and are able to execute, I think we'll do good.
Thank you so much, Drayden. Congratulations.
North Bay's turning 100, and what a time to be here. From the buzz of the Heritage Parade to sunset concerts at the waterfront, the city is alive with celebration. And you know who's right in the middle of it all? Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. We're proud to be a part of this milestone moment. Whether you're coming home from a family reunion, planning a gathering with friends, or just simply making the most of everything the Centennial has to offer, our doors are open. Stay in a spacious suite that feels like home, with a full kitchen to cook in, room to relax, and a space to unwind after a full day of fun. Are you hosting something bigger? Our event spaces and amazing local partners like the Grand and Stock Transportation make it easy to bring people together. Best of all, they're just steps from the action. The fireworks, the food trucks, the music, the laughter, it's all right here. Celebrate 100 years of North Bay with us. Use code Centennial to save on your stay anytime this year. Be at home with Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. Join the party today at 495 Oak Street West or give us a call at 705-495-3000.
Dear North Bay, you've always been more than a place on the map. You're home to me. This is where I built a life with my husband, raised our kids, and taught in local schools for over 24 years. I'm proud to be part of this community. Earlier this year, my world shifted. After living with anxiety, depression, and PTSD for much of my life, I reached a point where I couldn't keep going alone. Walking into the emergency department at the North Bay Regional Health Center was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But what I found there changed everything. A nurse who made me feel safe, a crisis worker who who truly listened. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. That care gave me hope, and it inspired me to give back by supporting local healthcare so that others in our community can access the same compassionate care I did. If my story resonates with you, I hope you'll consider supporting the NBRHC Foundation. Please visit nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125 to give. Because mental health is health. With gratitude, Tiffany Van Meer.
And on the junior side, it was the Schollard Hall Bears who took home the NDA championship for junior boys volleyball. So Chippewa takes it home for the seniors, and it's Schollard Hall who takes it home for the juniors. Congratulations to the Bears on their big victory. So on Wednesday night, it was Schollard back on the ice, this time playing the third team in the league, Algonquin, for their first matchup of the year. Schollard coming in, of course, after that very impressive victory over Chippewa. It was a much closer game. I was there for the first half of the first period, and they were up. They scored 2 early goals. Schollard ended up winning 5-2, but they ended up scoring 2 goals, and it got rough. I saw a couple of pushing and shoving, a little bit of fighting, a little bit of tension between the two. And then Tantan, who of course does some great work, Tantan Photography on Instagram, does some great work with the Voodoos. He does some great work with the NDA Hockey. And he caught like a really interesting fight tussle, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he was in a great spot. He was right behind the net, the Zamboni side net. And he recorded a high hit on an Algonquin kid, and the referee called it. And then 2 kids, Schollard's captain, and I think a veteran for Algonquin, sort of got into a little bit. Both helmets were off by the end of it, and then they fist bumped after. So some bad blood, but it's a part of it. Now, I don't know if ripping your helmets off in a high school hockey game is part of it, but I'm glad that it was nothing major.
And I think one of the things for Algonquin, because when I saw them go up 2-0, I'm like, is this going to be one of those years? Because it was like a couple minutes into the game. I'm like, is this going to be one of those years where Schollard just steamroll, like what Chippewa did in volleyball, pretty much, where they went undefeated. They were 10-0, undefeated in the playoffs, straight sets. Like nobody really came close to touching them for the title. And it's like, is this going to be what it's like going to be like for Schollard? So seeing that final score at 5-2 is nice. That it wasn't a complete one-sided affair. Though Schollard is just really, really solid. But I think it's going to be a 2-horse race maybe. And look, there's an elephant in the room right now. We got to talk about it, which is on Bay today, and Facebook complaints actually, which is wild. There was a message about I would say the fairness of. Or not fairness, but the competitiveness of the league from, I think, somebody who is most likely attached to the Chippewa team in some way. And everybody's valid. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's valid. And it's nothing about the opinion, but it was an interesting piece about the competitiveness in the league and how this person was saying it was unfair. Some of the work that Schollard puts in, which, to be fair, they put in a lot of work and they take a lot of pride in that program. And obviously Chippewa got kind of killed 13-2, I think it was, or something like that. And you're a coach, a part-time coach, kind of in and out. Sometimes you get jerseys, sometimes they're not completed jerseys, but either way, I wanted to get, so from somebody who's inside the tent, I wanted to get your opinion because we both read this letter. If you want to see it, you can find it on socials. You can find it on Bay Today. A lot of people disagreed with this opinion, but I wanted to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, like it's I would say a big topic. I don't know if it's an issue. It's a big topic for sure. The Schollard Hall program puts a ton of time into those kids. They have the hockey program, which again they pride themselves on. They have a coaching staff who is really passionate about hockey. They really love it, and they've started to develop a little bit more of a program in the last 5 years. There'd been some staff turnover. So they put in a lot of time. They get a lot of these kids that have that grew up in the single A or the double A, that once they don't get drafted, they play high school hockey because it's fun, and that's kind of the thing to do. Like we saw it with the Thibodeau boys and the Bradley boys.
Yep.
It happens. And the thing with NDA sports, and just high school sports is that there are some programs that get built and they're always a favorite or they're always strong, like
Chippewa
volleyball, Algonquin football, Ferris basketball. Like that's sort of how it goes. And other teams cycle in and out. Hockey's been one of those ones, I'd say, especially in recent times, where it has been cycled out nicely. Algonquin had a nice run around 2019 COVID era. They had about 3 or 4 wins in a row because they had some of those kids who like they could put it all together. And then we won recently, or Chippewa won recently. Scholar won. They're on their 2 in a row now. Like it happens. Some teams build a really good program, and then it all depends on what kids you get.
Yeah.
So it looks like Scholar's going to continue to build this program and might go on a little run, but Chippewa's won volleyball 6 years in a row.
Yeah, and I understand. It definitely felt like an emotional letter. Like it came from an emotion of nobody wants to see assuming it's a parent, and I'm not saying it is or it's not, but they're obviously emotionally invested in some way, and to see like whether it's a team or it's somebody not doing well. It's no different than when you look at, because this is basically AA hockey, and it's no different than, if you're a parent and you want your coach to play your kid more, or you want, like, you're emotionally invested in it. So I understand where this is coming from, but it's also a competitive league. And as you said, it cycles in and out, and then it happens in every sport. And that's the thing is NDA, especially at the senior level. The junior level is a little bit more about let's have fun, and if you win, you win. Senior, or in this case, varsity, where there is no senior, junior, way more competitive. Like people don't like when we talked about Chippewa and volleyball. Craig is an intense coach, not a mean coach, but he's intense. He wants to win. The expectation to his team, and you've been in that program, to win. Like he's not thinking of NDA, he's not thinking of NASA, he's thinking like OFSA. And like if they don't get there, I remember when I played baseball. And we had like Larry Tugas was our coach, and like he built like a really good football program. He built a really big, obviously basketball program. And in baseball, we would go out and kill a team 16-1. I think we beat Algonquin one time 16-1, and we didn't play well. And we still had to do drills and like run polls and stuff because we just didn't do well. And that's part of basketball programs. Like the amount of work, because Tyler Miller is the head coach for Scholar, and they put a lot of pride into it. They have Instagram page that they use all the time. They have social media they use. He has his own skills coach or skills camp that he uses in the summer that he helps build a program with. And these are people. Look at what Ryan does with the Algonquin football program, right? They put a lot of time into that. They like live and breathe those programs. So there is a level of effort. And when we talk about you'd love to put another team in, whether it's football, like we talked about senior, right? Put a 4th team in, whether it's Chippewa or Northern or Odyssey or Franco or whoever. Same thing with hockey. You could say, well, Ferris should put in a team or whatever. If they put in a team cold, they're probably going to end up being just fodder for the rest of the teams.
Really. Oh, absolutely. But looking ahead to those NASA and OFSA, NDA needs something. In football, in the last 5 years, they've scored 9 points at NASA. And in hockey last year, you have to play against these powerhouse teams from the Sioux and Sudbury. Scholar ended up moving on to OFSA. I'm pretty confident, 99% confident, they didn't score a goal against Cora or St. Charles.
And it's hard when most of your hockey players, like there's some really good players from North Bay, but they're all with the Trappers or they're with the Voodoos or, like they're at a higher level. And then the players who don't get there or don't want to play there, it's hard to find those people. Like we talked about Chippewa, right? You guys lost pretty much your entire forward line. All your good forwards essentially. And now you have to build that program back up. And that's tough because some people might not want to play. Like you got lucky that Heath Bradley wanted to play for you guys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right? You wouldn't have had that. Now he plays for the Voodoos. Like you just kind of have to get lucky with who wants to play or who decides not to play.
Yeah, and then like building a good program sort of sways that luck. If you can, like if there's an advantage for those super skilled kids to come play, then they'll probably come play, but it's a give and take.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, like again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and she doesn't have necessarily you can't have a wrong opinion. A lot of people just disagreed, and I think it really just comes down to at the end of the day, it's a competitive league, and it's treated that way, and then it's going to happen, unfortunately. Now, does it suck if Chippewa goes out and loses by 10 goals every single game, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun to watch, I think, for either team, fan of either team. It's not fun to play in. The competitive, when you look at Algonquin Scholar, like, even though the score was kind of far apart, the competitiveness and the chippiness and all that stuff, that's what people want to see, right? Like, it's good hockey. But you'll have to get on the ice.
Yeah, strap them up. It'll turn over. It's just it's the league will be healthy again shortly. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yep.
But right now it's tough.
I think the big thing for you guys will be Saturday night when you play Chippewa plays Algonquin in that kind of first matchup. I think that'll be the real litmus test in terms of where Chippewa lands. Yeah,
there'll be one team they'll be Scholar in first 2-0, and one team who's 1-1, and one team who's 0-2. It could be. I could see it going either way. I could see it be a real close one, or I could see Algonquin doing similar to what Scholar did.
As long as two teams are close to each other, I think it's fine.
You're in good shape.
Taking a look across NDA socials, there was a really neat thing that West Ferris hosted. It did a Special Olympics tournament that teams from West Ferris, St. Joseph Scholar Hall, the Temiskaming District Secondary School, Chippewa, and Algonquin all participated in. There were over 100 students and 15 teams playing. On their Facebook, they want to thank the senior and junior basketball volunteers, leadership students, and student volunteers who played unified and helped out with organizing, timing, and music. It was a fantastic day, we talked about a couple of the Special Olympics stuff that the NDA has put on, or different schools have put on. It's great to see. I think the last one it wasn't basketball, right?
It was soccer.
It was soccer, yeah. And again, it's great to see teams and schools participating and putting together these big programs for some of the people who don't necessarily have the same advantages that a lot of people have.
Yeah, absolutely. And posting about it everywhere. I saw it on a bunch of different platforms and different schools posting about it. The North Bay Police posted about it with...
were they involved?
I think so, just a little bit. The community constables, Sproul and Moyer.
Oh, yeah.
And then Constable Shantz was there. And that's just... It's fantastic to see that community coming together. It's everybody's on the same team.
Yeah, I remember going back to the hockey thing. The North Stars are a big part. I don't know. I think they're still going strong, but I remember hearing a lot of that. Sledge hockey is another one that's kind of a big deal for what they do as well. And I know a couple of people who were in that program, and it was just they get so happy playing it. And it's great. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic event that they put on, and all these people who organize these Special Olympics or these teams that help people with disabilities. It's great to see them being able to enjoy a sport that we all get to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. The North Bay Police, the referees, coaches, and even the students all coming together and helping out and wanting to do that is beautiful.
From the Office of Tennis, we have one update that I saw on socials. I haven't seen anything else, so if anybody has any updates, please shoot them our way. But Chippewa did talk about this a couple days ago, where they wanted to shout out, as we talked about, Cohen Lefebvre and Arthur Serrato, who represented Chippewa proudly in boys doubles at the Office of Tennis Championships in Toronto. The pair battled hard, falling just short in a tight tie-break in Game 1, but bounced back strong to take the win in Game 2, securing the match and advancing to Day 2. This marks Cohen's fourth and final OFSA appearance, capping off an incredible high school tennis journey and Arthur's first, with many more to come. So not too sure how Day 2 went. We haven't seen any updates on that, but congratulations again. And of course, having to go play volleyball right after that, no easy task.
No, he's on pace for 2 OFSAs in the fall, which is crazy. I went to 2 OFSAs my whole career.
There you go.
Here we are.
Some people just win at life.
Yeah, I guess so. But good for him, 4 OFSAs in 4 years. Going in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, impressive stuff.
So in post-secondary action, it was the Lakers Lacrosse team who went to the Bagataway Cup last week and had one heck of a run. In the quarterfinals, they beat Queen's University. All of this stuff happening in Brampton, by the way. But they beat Queen's on the Friday, 13-8. They then went to the semis to face McGill. They won 15-12. And then in the finals, they played Guelph, and unfortunately, they fell 15-5. What a season for the lacrosse team as they end up second place in the Bagataway Cup, just missing out on going all the way. But a big congratulations to the lacrosse team, and we're going to have to try to get Jason on to just talk about his team a little bit, because what a season they had.
Yeah, we should revisit that interview and look at what we talked about and what he saw for this team. And they went all the way to the finals. It was a brutal snow game from the highlights that I saw.
TSN had an Instagram reel that got like 150,000 views or whatever it was. Yeah, they had a reel of this. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, but great for them. Obviously, it's my school, but great for Jason. It's just fantastic.
And this coming off the heels, of course. I don't know if you saw that soccer highlight too, where the guy gets a bicycle kick, and it wasn't snowing up here, but down south, it went down. But yeah, playing some snow lacrosse is pretty neat.
Switching to men's basketball for the Lakers, on last Friday they beat University of Waterloo 70-54, and then on Saturday played Laurier and lost 93-57, but that's okay. They play this week. They play on Friday against OTech U and Queens on Saturday. Both of those at home, Friday at 8 and Saturday at 6.
So the women's, just like the men's, came in and they had a huge weekend as they beat the University of Waterloo 66-47 before staying in Waterloo to face Laurier and winning 78-56, which now puts them 2-4 overall. So big couple of wins for both the men's and women's on the road. Just like the men's, they are hosting Ontario Tech this weekend, Friday at 6 o'clock, and then Queens comes to town at 4 p.m. on Saturday.
The Lakers men's hockey team went down to Kingston on Thursday and lost 4-2, but then on Friday, stayed in Kingston, played RMC, and had a 6-0 win. Zach Roy with the shutout for the Lakers. This weekend, they play against McGill and Carleton. McGill on Friday at home, and then they travel to Carleton on Sunday at 7 o'clock.
The women's only had the one game. They played UFT here in Memorial Gardens. They ended up dropping that one 3-1. They are still at home. They'll be playing tonight at 5 o'clock against TMU at the Gardens. And then they also host Ontario Tech at 7 o'clock on Saturday.
Upcoming for Lakers men's volleyball, the boys travel down to Kingston for a doubleheader against Queens Friday at 8 o'clock and Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Just like the men's, they had last week off, and the women's are also in Queens, in Kingston, as they play on Friday at 6 and Saturday at 2 p.m. And that moves us over to the Panthers. So let's see what's going on in the Canadore world. The men's basketball program, they went down to the GTA to place Humber, where they fell 118-59 on Saturday. On Sunday, they went to Conestoga and ended up dropping 94-69. They are back home this week on Sunday as they play St. Clair at noon. And then on the volleyball sides, it was the men's who beat Centennial 3-0. And then George Brown won another win for Canadore men's team as they won 3-1 in Toronto. They are back at home to face Georgian on November 15th at 3 p.m. And the women's, on the other hand, same thing. Centennial, they won 3-1 before dropping 3-2 to George Brown. They're also hosting Georgian at home at 1 o'clock.
And that concludes Echo Sportscast number 61.
I'm Ben Sargent.
I'm Jackson Bull. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any content or media that you'd like to send our way, message us on socials or send it to ben@northbayecho.ca.